All right, this is the Iron Serbian with Capital Chaos TV, and we're hanging out here with JD of the Sword. How's it going, JD?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. You guys played a little while ago, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And how did you feel about your performance?
I enjoyed it. I hope the crowd did. It was good.
Do you have ups and downs of feelings of your performances?
Oh, absolutely. I guess most people probably do. But yeah, sometimes sound is not good. Sometimes, you don't feel good or whatever for whatever reason. But but today was good. Today everything was one of those rare times when you get on stage at a festival and everything actually sounds good. Usually at a festival situation, it's a crapshoot. You don't know what's going to happen once you actually plug in and, because you don't get a sound check or anything. So, but today was good.
Is this your first year on the Danny Wimmer Presents Festival circuit?
We've done a few here and there in the past. Yeah.
And how do they compare to festivals throughout Europe that you may have played?
They're pretty comparable, fairly similar, like very well run, and that's as when you're playing the festival as an artist, like that's really what you look for is like how good is catering, how nice is my dressing room sort of thing, and is it comfortable backstage? Because it's of course it's going to be a little different than playing a show at a club or a theater or something, So, these are well run. They do a good job at making everybody comfortable and happy.
And it looks like your dressing room is a container, right?
It is a container. I mean, that's kind of the standard deal at these things,
And I think Red Fang is playing today as well. Is that right?
They are, yeah. Hoping to catch them.
That's a little more up the Swords alley for the most part.
Yeah. They're our old buddies of ours. Yeah. We like their band a lot.
And now you guys have taken a little more of a progressive turn on High Country, which is your new album.
Yeah, a little bit. Just kind of it's kind of where we're at. Just kind of feeling like let's shift gears a little bit. Show a little bit different influences. But it's still us at the end of the day.
You definitely have brought the heavy on the last couple albums to where it's not really that necessary to always revisit that.
Yeah, I want to, when I'm, take my last breath, I'd like to say that I, at least tried to write some different kind of stuff, and that my whole legacy or catalog or whatever I leave behind isn't all just, doesn't, at a point start rehashing itself and getting boring. So at least there'll be, something different on there,
Is it hard to have a favorite?
Yeah, really, yeah,
And are all the songs of this album is something that you guys feel comfortable playing live?
Some of them more than others. There's a couple we're still kind of working on live because we went a little crazy in the studio with some of the production and vocals and stuff like that, and we're still trying to work all that out. It's the other guys are a little new to singing live and stuff like that, so we're still getting comfortable with some of the stuff. But most of it we do live, and we'll be incorporating the few songs that we don't, probably within in the next few tours.
There's always a lot of talk and complaint from bands that sign record deals, and down the road they always complain that they somehow got ripped off, even though most contracts are written in English, and they sign those contracts somehow, some way. It's always not their fault, and they're screwed. And there's also a lot of talk lately about Spotify and other services like that are not giving up their fair share. What are your thoughts on that situation?
Well, as far as the Spotify thing, I'm not incredibly educated on the subject, but it seems like there just needs to kind of maybe be a little more transparency or regulation of that industry. It's such a new thing that it the gatekeepers, the people that have the technology kind of can at this point sort of make their own rules. And I think maybe it could be a little more fair to artists, and hopefully that will come over time. And
as far as record contracts, do you what is your advice to bands that may be about to sign something so they don't bitch and moan about whatever down the road?
I don't know. I would just say, really think about it, and is it something that you really feel like you need to do? to get your band where you want it to be. Because in this day and age, there's so much you can do on your own. And, there's a lot of people still trying to keep their jobs and, be those middlemen that maybe aren't quite as necessary as they once were. But it depends on what you're trying to do and, where you're at. Like, record labels can be extremely helpful, and then they could also be, a burden. Ours is good. We're in a good spot. But, it's hard not to think about, how many people self-release and just kind of do it themselves. And, that's something definitely that's inspiring.
It's definitely not just a punk rock way.
Yeah, for sure.
What's next for Sword after the Aftershock Fest? What's the some juicy?
Well, we're just kind of in the middle of a tour right now, doing the West Coast. We take a couple weeks off and then do the East, and that's really the rest of our year. And then next year, probably more touring, hoping to get overseas a little bit more, Australia, It's more touring.
All right. Do you have any last words for anybody that might be either listening to this or watching this? Words of wisdom, advice.
Wisdom, man. Where to begin? I don't know. Eat your vegetables. Yeah.